Happy Lionsgate. Happy
Yeah,
Lionsgate.
I kind of went right in there. I know. It's amazing that this happened on Lionsgate. We did not plan this, by the
Oh,
way, guys.
we didn't. It just happened. What do you think, or what do you feel is the theme that's surfacing for healing collectively during this Lionsgate period
So,
portal that we're in right now? What do you get?
okay. So that what I'm getting with this Lionsgate portal is not necessarily that we need to do anything more. In fact, it might be quite the opposite, that this is a moment for us to be in gratitude and grateful for how far we've come, to do less of pulling in something next and more of I want to see how far I've come and being able to look back and see that it kind of puts us out of this I need more, I need more, I need more, I need more, and allows us to be in presence. And that puts you in the frequency of pulling in more. That is for your highest and greatest good. Because when you're in gratitude and you're in awe of your own, like, look at what's worked in my life. Look at how much I have done that was hard. It was a hard choice, but I did it. And now look, like, instead of looking at what's going wrong with your life, looking at the abundance of what has already went well for you. And even though it may seem like it was hard in the moment, this is a significant enough time gap that you can see that those things that seemed really hard were something that was bringing you the best thing that could have been for you. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. And it's so true too when you think about like when I was thinking about it as initiation and you're thinking about when you're in those moments of crisis in your life or challenge in your life, it is a form of initiation because you're letting go of those old components of yourself. And what you mentioned about just everybody's so focused on bringing in or calling in or creating new. It is really kind of genius to just be like, we don't really need to be doing any of that as much as we need to be just anchoring into ourselves in the present moment. And then the irony is that's when more new comes in without focusing on it, but just allowing
Yeah.
yourself to just be in what you have. And that's what I'm getting is in addition to or to complement what you're sharing or what you're getting is that when you're in your moment of presence and gratitude and reflection and awareness of everything that you've been through, and you have those parts of yourself, they have time to integrate. Maybe they don't have time to integrate as much. All those parts of yourself, all the challenge that you went through, everybody has our challenges, but all the challenges going back 4 years will say perhaps they didn't have time to fully integrate if you're always just chasing forward. But if you could pause and allow yourself to integrate, then you're going to be more embodied and more able to step into higher expansion because you'll be holding more of those older components of yourself. And I think of it in terms of letting those parts of yourself evolve so that they can catch up with you. Because we all have those fragments of ourselves that are stuck in those time loop traumas, right? From crisis events in our life or trauma in our life. And those components of ourself are what keep us from stepping more fully into our expansion. The more we pause, like you say, and just be in gratitude and be in the moment and anchor in the moment, the more we can integrate those. And I think of it in terms of initiation. I get the word initiation from the story you were sharing with me about the deer. And I think about initiation and I think in terms of this is an initiatory period, but in order to get the most out of our initiation, what you offer is the key that unlocks that. And that is to just be. And that is to just be. So it's really
Yeah.
profound. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that. I always try to come up with something actionable that
And so, like, maybe just writing down and like writing a list of like, wow, I did this, like I did this, I overcome this, I overcome this, I overcome this, and it brought me here, and it brought me here, and it brought me here. And writing that down and speaking it out is definitely going to put you in the energy and the frequency of I can do things that bring happiness and joy to my life. Like I can do hard things that may have seemed insurmountable in the moment, but now it's nothing. I should have did it way before then. Like you're like, why didn't I do that sooner? Once you do
Yeah.
it, and you're right about absolutely about those aspects of ourselves that are stuck there. And once you do get present with that and you look back on these times, I think it goes hand in hand with both of what we're saying here,
Hmm.
is because when we're looking back at those times where we overcame something or we were proud of ourselves, you get that full body like I can do it. I don't know why I gave so much power to this because really I could be thrown out on the road right now and I would figure it out. Like if there's a will, there's a way. Like I would figure it out. And you'll get that like that energy back that's just been leaking to these other aspects of self that make us feel small. And I think like I call them like anchor points,
Hmm.
and going back and looking to see what anchor point, because those anchor points create your beliefs and they fund your belief systems or like your belief about yourself internally. And I also feel like they have a contribution to how we perceive and how we move through time. Because if we're just consistently trying to go, 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 and we're not paying attention to those things that happened that we didn't integrate, because like you said, when we integrate them and we heal them and we allow them to see from our perspective now in the future, then you don't want to get rid of your shadows. You want to integrate them and bond with them and help lift them up to where you are, because that's where your power lies.
That was so beautifully spoken. Oh, and I thought of something while you were talking and I lost it because I got so into what you were saying. Because I got so into what you were saying.
Next time go like this and I'll pause
Oh yeah.
and
Oh,
put your finger up.
no, I know, no, because I didn't want to interrupt the flow of consciousness you were in sharing and the transmission you were sharing. Oh, that's what it was. It was how you were saying that, yeah, no, and a great action would be writing it down.
Oh yeah.
That action in itself can help those components of yourself, those anchor points of those aspects of self that are ready to evolve into
Yeah.
your
And it's
current frequency. That activity in itself would be a
yes.
wonderful opportunity to recognize and honor those anchors and also invitation to those anchors to come into the present
Yes.
moment and stepping into new, your current higher frequency. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of work around healing what I call day identities, and I haven't spoken about it on my YouTube channel. I did a lot of work of it with my Sovereign Intensive, but I've been thinking about it and I've been doing a lot of work with it for myself. So it's interesting that it's coming up.
That's awesome. I think it partners with what I was just going to say is your clearing past versions of self. Like, the story about him stepping over you and like looking back and being like, I would never in my life ever put up with something like that again,
Mm-hmm.
type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's the anchor point, and they're just sitting there
Mm-hmm.
and they need healing. And this can go back to childhood or just like 10 months ago or whatever. But a lot of our energy does go to fueling that, and it takes away from our energy sources to fuel our energy field and stay protected and sovereign.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna I was gonna ask you to share your take on the Lion's Gate.
Okay, yeah. So I think I'm to shift people's perspectives, I guess, on certain things, like bring a different way of seeing things, and people can take what resonates and what it doesn't. But I do feel like there is a movement that might not be as healthy. It's easy to get lost in the spiritual ego type thing. And so with the Lionsgate portal, um, I'm saying this from experience. I'm not no judgment at all. I am saying this from experience because I didn't even know what the 8-8 portal was, especially the fact that this is not just a number portal, like the 1111 portal. It's not just that. It's an ancient alignment. I feel like the whole story here is with this 8-8 portal, this Lionsgate portal is It's an activation of codes and keys within you that you already have in your blueprint, in your DNA, in your soul's blueprint, whatever you want to call it. There's different words. Your Akashic records, if that's how you know. Um, and I feel like this portal, especially this one, is an open channel to activate those things within you. And it will give you the courage and the energy to do something that you would have never. So if you need the courage to leave a job, you know what I mean? If it's not for your highest good and your soul is calling you to do something that you feel so passionate about, this is a chance to do that and to awaken the power within you that's already there. It goes hand in hand with looking back to see how far you've grown, to give you that courage to say, look, I've already done hard things. You know, I've already done this. Really, the whole entire collective consciousness of humanity is getting to that point where we take that leap and we take that step and we step into what we're being called to do, even if it doesn't make sense or if it doesn't seem logical. And you can fly on your dragons, and we were just going to go, and we ended up flying up, which we never did before. And so we were flying up, and we went through the night sky and ended up above an ocean in the daylight in the sun. And I'm like, what? Because they made this sound. It was like changing the dimensions or changing the frequency to bring us into a different reality, I guess you could say, or a different realm. And we were flying above the ocean. All you could see is the ocean. And at this moment, I didn't know what the 8-8 portal actually was. Like I didn't know it was an alignment of specific planets. I just knew it was a powerful time of manifestation, which is what I was getting to about how like it's just people don't know what it really is. This is why it's important to say this now because of what we found out later on after we did this, because it was organic, but we ended up above this ocean and then our dragons just dove into the water. And I'm like holding my breath thinking I can't breathe, which of course we're in astral, we can breathe. But there was dolphins swimming next to us. It was absolutely beautiful. Our hair was like it was in the water, like it was like flowing like it would be if you're in the water. And we ended up landing down on the ground, which was like beautiful white sand. And then these people came out, these people, but they were some type of like familial people. They were like, they're back, they made it back, come see. And then like all these little kids ran up and they were like, oh my God, you came back to see us. And we just didn't really know what it meant at the time, but we were honored. It was like we were these warriors. We got sent out to do something, a mission, and we came back to see, like, to check in with them, kind of
To
thing.
visit.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So when we got out, I don't really remember what else happened because I was just so wild, but we went back. And then the next day, saw scrolling and I saw something about it being have something to do with Sirius. It was Sirius B that we were at. It was a water planet. And that's where these ancient primordial dolphins come from, which I'm super connected to dolphins, always have been. And I know that they carry so much ancient wisdom and like the history and the wisdom of pretty much
You
all
astral
humanity.
traveled to Sirius
Yeah,
without even realizing that you astral traveled to Sirius.
right. Or that it even had anything to do with the Lionsgate portal. I had no clue that it was that alignment or that that's what it meant or that's what the
Wow.
Lionsgate was. So we were like so
Well,
mind
now
blown with
now we
that.
know that you have family in Sirius,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
you're
And
from Sirius, and that you're on a mission from Sirius.
yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
What's crazy about that is that then this time I was this 8-8 portal, I was kind of connecting into what it was because I felt like the whole manifestation holiday thing was not it something just didn't sit right with me with that, which I feel like every new moon and every full moon is the same thing. It's like release and then bring in something new, which I'm not poo-pooing that. Don't get me wrong. I do my moon magic. I do manifestation work, but I just want to let people know that it's something so much more ancient and powerful than just that. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
you don't waste the energy because it's an activation portal of connecting back to that star that is an ancient mystery school. Like we incarnated there to learn how to be human before we came here. For those of us that are here that haven't been stuck in like a karmic, like you know, the reincarnation loop type thing. Those that feel like they're light workers, I guess you could say, or like star seeds, or people that seem to, you know, you'll know if you know what I'm saying, like those kind of people. Um, More than likely, you were at this mystery school learning these ancient, you know, not just ancient mysteries, but like mystery school, as in learning everything that you needed to know and the gifts that you have within your soul's DNA, like your soul's blueprint, to come here to utilize those abilities to know what you're meant to do here. And so for those of you that do feel like you have a mission, that do feel like you have a purpose and you might not know what that is, today is the day. And the next 2 weeks from now, it's 2 weeks before the 8-8 portal. The 8-8 portal is the biggest, is the most potent form of it. And then 2 weeks later. So don't worry if you miss the day, you know, it's not that big of a deal. And you don't have to have some big spiritual thing that happens like how I did with the dragon. Sometimes it's like just slowing down and being present to allow what your soul wants you to know, what your team, what your divine team and your higher self is presenting to you. Because we get hooked on like, oh, this person, that sounds great, she's doing this ritual or they're doing that ritual, and we get sucked into, this is an individual keys and codes within your DNA, within your soul's blueprint, that are now asking to come forward for you to then utilize them and work with them and integrate them into your daily life for your purpose, your mission, you know?
And I'm just really going there too as you're sharing about it. I'm going there. I'm just like, of course, it makes perfect sense because I'm not familiar with the serious mystery school about being trained for coming here to Earth, but it makes perfect sense that those of us who it just explains so much of what I've seen in my healings and in astral that of course there are so many of us that have chosen to incarnate at this time for this grand evolutionary jump that we're experiencing or that humanity is experiencing. It makes perfect sense that, and I could see it as you were describing it, the mystery school is training and preparedness to bring in the soul's blueprint when we incarnate here so that we have those abilities. And a lot of it
Yeah.
is probably waiting to be activated at the right time, at the correct time, and that these portals are very much those activation periods.
Yes. And through other people. And I feel like this is intuitive, of
Mhm.
course, but I feel like we were also with a set group, like a soul tribe per se, where okay, we're contracted to meet now, and then I'm gonna activate you at this time in a certain way, and you're gonna activate me, and it's like we go
Mhm.
off of each other in that way, and it's like something always pops up at the exact right time, and that's not by accident. There's no such thing as coincidence in my book. It's meant to activate us in the way that it's meant to activate us in that moment, and it might not make sense. If it doesn't make sense, that's really great. You should go with whatever doesn't make sense, doesn't make logical sense,
Go with
because
what
there's
doesn't
something
make
to
sense.
that.
So you do pick a card on your YouTube channel, and you
Yes.
also do healing lives on your TikTok. And so
Hmm.
if somebody wanted to do a pick a card, and your pick a cards go deep. They're not surface. Because you make oils. Talk about
Yes.
oils.
Yes. Like this
Please,
is
I
just,
can't wait to get mine.
I know, I'm so excited. Like these are just like, this is mine, the ones that I use. Like, so there's quite a bit. But this is the one that I just made the most recently, which I am gonna also include in there. I don't know what its named is yet, but it's for
Here.
leadership. It's for leadership and sovereignty and trusting yourself and not having shame and letting go of fear or of, you know, self-doubt, especially self-doubt. It smells amazing. I put it on before we started here, but they all have crystals and herbs and natural essential oils and magic in them. I don't do spells on them or anything, but my energetic frequency is in the oil, and it will help you with the thing that it's meant to help you with through the energy that is placed in it. As I'm making it, every step is intentional.
I can feel it when
So
you talk about it. I can feel it when you talk about it. Which one?
yeah,
Is that the one that I ordered? Or is that
No,
which
this
one
is
did
the
I
one
order?
that's
Of
in.
course I
See,
ordered the Solar Goddess.
most of the herbs are something that I have harvested myself, and I'll put things in there that I was in that energy in the moment for
D.
the oil, you
So
know?
there's absolutely no artificial fragrance. It's only
No,
essential oils.
yes, it's just
Ah,
essential
I love
oils.
it.
Yeah, it's just essential oils. And there's crystals too in there,
Ah,
which is, but yeah, just essential oils. But there is a little bit, as you can see, there's like a little bit of mica powder in there. So
oh,
there's
that's
like this
cool.
little glittery kind of stuff. Like
Ah.
it's really, it's shimmer. It's basically shimmer that. And this one has a citrine roller instead of metal.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so this is for empowerment, internal confidence, true internal confidence and knowing. And it came through with this dragon that, like this golden dragon, this yellow dragon, this solar dragon. So there is dragon energy as well involved with this, but basically taking away the self doubt that what you have to give is not as powerful as what it is. Like you have no idea. That's kind of the energy.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure grateful to you that you took the time to just share some of your story and hang out with me
Yeah.
and
I'm so grateful for you having me here. I felt
yeah,
honored.